Your dog is so loud. I think she's snoring louder than I'm talking.
Well, that's nice.
Ingrid, please. Your eyes are open. You're not sleeping. Stop snoring. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Molly, and I've been wanting to start this for a long time. I've just always put it off. It hasn't been like the right time. I haven't been ready, whatever. And you know, today I was about to start writing a book that I really wanted to vlog the creation of, and I was finally just like, do it. Just sit down, turn the camera on. What comes out comes out. If it's good enough to post, I post it. Otherwise, you'll never see this. I know the lighting's not great. I don't have makeup on. My hair's a mess. I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt. But you know what? I was just like, if I don't start now, I'm never gonna start. And let's see what happens. See where it goes. What I'm starting with right now is romance. Kind of like a romantic comedy. I'm still kind of waiting to see just how much comedy is in it before I fully latch on to that comedy title or romantic comedy genre. This idea has been marinating since like just before the start of the year, and I have a decent amount of just like outlining and notes and whatever done. Not a crazy amount, as you can see, but enough to the point where I think it's time to just start drafting. I think once I start drafting, I get to know my characters better. I get to know where the story is going a little better. And a lot of this is just so character dependent that I need to know who my leading man is more than I do right now, because he's still a bit of a mystery, and I need to know their personalities better than I do from what I've written out and from what I've thought of. And so for me, starting that draft is hopefully going to get me to that point of figuring out exactly who they are and where they're going, and that's going to help me finish that outline and really get it honed in. This is something I would like to self-publish, ideally sometime in June. I don't have a set date yet, but it's very summery in its vibes. There's a lot of wiggle room. I've never done this before, and so I'm gonna be nice to myself about it and setting hard goals, but also still really push myself to get it done with the goal of self-publishing at the beginning of the summer and the spring, beginning of summer. I want to get this first draft done by the end of March. Ideally, I would have liked to have it done by the end of February, but it is currently February 6th. It's almost 8 p.m. on February 6th, and I haven't actually started the draft yet, and so that's not realistic. I think end of March for me is going to be a really tight schedule, but I'm just going to go for it, hope for the best, push myself as much as I can without completely burning out, which I want to do, because that's when I'm feeling good. I'll push and push and push, and then I'll burn out, and then it takes me like a month to get back to writing again in general. So hopefully we don't run into that. I am starting these vlogs as a way to also keep myself on track, to keep myself moving towards this goal, and really just hold myself accountable. So my idea for the story is this older woman who, her husband just passed, and she's realizing that she didn't live the life that she wanted to live when she was little. She didn't achieve those goals. And is that important? Is it not? She's not sure, but at this point in time for her, it feels very important that she did not get to do these things that she had dreamed of, that she chose a different path in life, and that she feels like maybe she would have been happier if she hadn't chosen this path that she was on. She decides to go on this road trip that she had always wanted to do when she was little and never got around to. Her and her husband had amazing lives, but they never really just took time for themselves. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of traveling for business and stuff like that. but not so much spending that time, just the two of them, for pleasure, having fun. And so she's looking, and she, as a kid, always dreamed about driving Route 66. And she says, you know what? Why not do it now? And so basically we have some catalysts in there, all that fun stuff. But I think at some point I'm gonna need to make a spreadsheet that will document the places that they can go on Route 66. I have it written here. I watched like a 2-hour YouTube video on Route 66 that detailed everything about it. It was amazing. It's pretty easy to find. I don't remember the name of who posted it now, but honestly, if you search like Route 66 road trip, it's probably the first one that comes up. I think it was a man and his dad that took it, and I watched that. I watched a bunch of other YouTube videos, TikToks, everything, and I put together a list of all the places. I think this is like 7 pages long that they could potentially visit, and obviously they can't visit all of these places because that would be a really, really boring story that's literally just me writing Route 66, and that's not a romantic comedy. That's not any genre that I know of. I'm sure there would be people interested, but this is fictional. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be her falling in love and really finding herself at an older age, and like proving that life ends eventually, but until that day you can always reinvent yourself. You can always do what you want. You can always reach for those goals and live the life that you want to live. But I think I'm gonna need to do a spreadsheet of either my favorites or the ones that I think will work best for this, and have some notes in there about them, where they are, how far they are from certain landmarks, or like big cities, things like that. I need to do a decent amount of research for this. I'm trying to not overdo it and just bombard people with facts, but I do need a decent amount of research to be like, is it possible to start in Tulsa, Oklahoma and end up here by the end of the day? Or what hotels are around? What's this? What's that? Things like that, and what would work for my characters, because as amazing as the research I did was, my characters are very different from the people that I saw, and there'll be some overlap, but not everything will overlap. Honestly, I don't feel like making a spreadsheet right now, but I'm looking at it and I'm just like, oh, that would be smart. Smart to do. I also probably want to put some character outline information into a Google Doc. I do have it in here, at least some of it. This is a rough outline. This is rough character sheets. It's just like 1 page, my main character and the love interest. His isn't even filled out all the way. I still need to figure out who he is, what's motivating him, what his, like, I know somewhat of what his arc is, but he right now just revolves so completely around my female main character. He needs to be his own person, and I have to figure out that person. So I'm trying not to give away too much, you guys, but I'm gonna give away as much as I am comfortable with, and that's gonna change probably throughout this. But I'd like to really share with you the process of everything that I go through, because that's something that I love watching, and finding author tubers, and honestly, like, not just writing, but like films and things like that. I love watching the process of being created, and watching it right alongside with these people who are doing it, and then it comes out and you have this actual physical copy that you get to read after you saw that whole process. So that's what I'm gonna try and kind of emulate, and showing you a whole process that I'm gonna go through from almost start to finish. I'm gonna I'm just gonna do a Google Doc. We're gonna keep it simple. And then we're just gonna outline chapter 1. I think I'm gonna try and do a really detailed outline. It's almost, I think some people would call it a fast draft, some people would call it an outline, but I'm just basically going to write, and if it flows out as like paragraphs and dialogue and description and all that, that's what I'm going to write. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to bullet point, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, things like that. I know I have characters in chapter 1 that haven't been named because I'm awful at naming characters. So I'll just fill in whatever and we'll go from there. I just am at a point where I feel like if I don't start getting it down, just like if I don't start the video, it's never gonna happen. And so let's get started. If you happen to move at all, I'm sorry, but my dog kicked you. She's very nice, but she's sleeping right here and her feet are resting on the tripod, and every so often she will move it. So please forgive her. Also, if you hear snoring, that's the other dog that's on the bed. So I'm just gonna go with the Route 66 Romance. Also, bear with me, I just got this keyboard. It's my new favorite thing, but I'm getting used to writing on it. This is a rough draft, a rough video, and it'll get better from here, so if you stick with me, and I'd be very much appreciative if you did. But yeah, we're all learning, we're all getting there, and I'd love for you to learn along with me, or just watch me learn, watch me fail, I don't know, let's have fun. I'm thinking too much about this because I know you're watching, and I don't know if it means I'm nervous or if I'm just like overthinking everything, but I literally just wrote that I was trying to write she should no longer be driving, and it came out she should no longer be typing. So that's great. We're good. We're off to a great start. I'm just gonna go through and try and make sure an outline for chapter 1 is done, like a very detailed outline. If not, just turn it into a rough draft of chapter 1. Honestly, that would be amazing. I'm not totally sure on that. For me, I think I'm gonna do a detailed outline of chapter 1 and then draft chapter 2. Chapter 1s tend to be difficult for me. I know even if I draft it right now, it's gonna be very different from this first draft to the final copy that gets published. To me, chapter 1 changes the most because that's when I'm really just starting to get into that character's head, really starting to learn who they are as a person, how they react, how they want to be written. Yeah, I'll check in with you again once I'm done with this, and I'll let you know where I end up. gonna delete to here because I think some of it will at least be touched upon in this chapter, but just not nearly as deep as that went. And honestly, I'm very glad that it did go that deep. I'm very glad that it did just flow out like that, and I was able to get so deep into her head on this first pass, because it bodes well for the future. I have currently getting rid of that part with the couple bullet points outlined. I'm at 367 words. Not a lot. Still getting into it. I am hoping to get a really good writing day tomorrow. So thank you very much. I hope you guys stick with me on this fun journey. See you next time. Bye.